man.
I said you weren't going to talk about this.
Oh my God! No, of course we are. Of course, I'm going to a midget wrestling match on March 21st. I can't wait.
Oh, I was about to say, Bird, you look like that midget type. They would enjoy a good midget show for sure.
Yeah. Oh, all right, man. Here we go. Let's do this. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Mike Bird, and I'm joined by Rob Chismark, and together we host the Sticky Side Podcast. We are glad everybody could join us. Thanks for listening. Hey, don't forget, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and check us out on any platform you get your podcast. We're there. We're still on Spotify, unless they kick Joe Rogan. If they kick Joe Rogan, I'm out. We're out, Rob. I love some Joe Rogan, bro.
He's all right.
No, you didn't sound too convincing with that. It's all right.
Where are we going to catch him?
You probably don't listen to him
if they kick him off Spotify.
I
don't listen to him religiously, but I don't listen to much religiously. You know what I'm saying? I think I've told you before that I don't really go back and listen to a whole lot of stuff that I do.
Including our show.
Including this show. Yes, that's correct. But today, I was kind of driving down the road, so I pushed play on a couple things, because the good thing is what I try to create when I'm doing some of the things that I do, and namely the commentary that I do behind the phone when I'm doing a match, whether it be a finals or whatever, for my local cornhole group, First Coast Cornhole, little shout out to them, or if I'm doing it, nationally for Boardman, I try to describe things as if you can't see it, but yet you can through the description. So that's what I did today. I pushed play on it. I didn't watch it, but I listened to it as I was driving down the road. And I need some work. There's some things I got to work on, but for the most part, I understood it. And I always want to make it understandable to the most novice of players. I want somebody to be able to tune in and hear some funny nicknames and hear some funny shot names. And, and if they're watching at the same time, they can put it together and see what it's like. But, but I don't watch a lot or don't listen a lot, but it seems I better start just so I can figure out where I need to improve.
Well, when you do something like that, you're your own worst critic anyway. And that's what I like about Trey Ryder and the ACL ESPN announcer. He does a great job in doing that, describing what's happening on the board for people watching on TV who don't know what the hell's going on. And actually, you can just listen to his call without even watching the game and figure out what's going on.
Right. And that's what I try to do. Yeah. It's when being your own worst critic, at least somebody's going to be, you can get some objective criticism regardless.
Send them my way.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, send
my stuff your way.
Send your stuff my way. I'll definitely let you know. I'll be honest.
Just watch it. You're pretty hard on me too, so I don't know how honest you'll be.
Hey, iron forges iron, brother. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
I think it's true.
Yeah, we got a couple of fellow podcasters in the house. We got Heith Jenkins and Jason Schwab, a.k.a. the Rooster from the OG Podcast.
I didn't even know his real name. I mean, I did, but whoever uses it.
Right. It's What's up, guys? Huday, by the way. Huday, yeah. Nobody uses my real name. It's not necessary. My parents call me Jason.
What do they call you at school?
Schwab.
Oh, okay. They call you by your name.
Last name works. Yeah, Schwab.
Yeah, you got one of them names like me. I've been called by my last name by everybody except for my immediate family my whole life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely one of those one syllable names. It just rolls off. It's easy to go to. Cool.
Yeah, so you're an actual Huday fan. First off, I don't like the Huday phrase. Who coined that? How long has it been around? I don't like it.
It's been around forever. I could go on about it, but I won't. But basically, who they think are going to beat them Bengals, and then of course the answer to that is nobody. And it's been around forever. And we have a beer in Cincinnati called Hootapole. I don't know if there's a link to Hootapole in Houday, but look, I'm telling you. The Saints have Houdat, but I don't think Houdat came into the league until after Houday was in the league.
That was what I was going to ask you. What was first? Was it Houday or Houdat? Because I hate Houdat even worse because I'm a Panthers fan.
So the chant is, and this pains me to say this, the chant is like New Orleans based. Like
Oh.
from the Jazz, like you
Oh,
like
no.
when the Saints come marching in type, you know what I'm saying? Like I have an old school record player, and I bought an old school like jazz, like New Orleans jazz record, and all of a sudden on this jazz record I hear who that think gonna beat them Saints. And
Oh
you
my
know
gosh.
they're doing this like Mardi Gras type, like I'm about to like pop that record in here like one of these days coming up because it's about that time of year. But anyway, the chant itself comes from New Orleans for sure. But as far as bringing it into the NFL, I don't know. I ain't heard any Saints fans say it before like the 2000s. Bengals have been saying it since the early 80s, as far as I know.
Okay, so the parallel with that is the Saints didn't win until the 2000s, and the Bengals the last time they did win was the 80s.
Right.
So
I want
you
hearing the who dat back in the day. Like
no, they didn't win.
I've never heard of who dat, but if you look back, you see who dey back in the early 80s. Like so,
Right.
Okay.
it's their chant originally, but it's our chant in the NFL, and then they stole it from us because it's cool.
So
Except they say who dat, we say who
You,
dat.
you
the
stole
Saints-
it from them because it's cool.
So
We stole it from them because it's cool. We stole it
And they
from
stole
their
it.
jazz because it's cool and brought it to the
Right.
NFL, and they stole it back from us because like, yeah, it is cool, and we're gonna.
well, I
we
mean,
stole it first.
that
so it's
sounds
kind
like
of ours.
something. Sounds like
Hell yeah.
something the damn New Orleans Saints would do because they suck so bad they got to go steal other people's shit.
Oh
know.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And if you're a Saints fan out there, I
Coming
do
from
not
a Panthers
apologize.
Fan,
Well, Heith, you're a
coming
Panthers
from a
fan
Panthers
too, right?
fan who might lose for.
No, I'm a Charger.
He's a Charger, man.
Oh,
He's
okay.
a
well,
Charger.
Since, to my credit, it was since Natron Means. You know, I grew up in Tar Heel.
Oh,
And
that's
then
even worse.
Natron come through Concord, so I was a big fan of him,
Oh.
and he went on to Carolina, and then went on to the Chargers, and then Rivers come along, and before that you had Sayal, Flutie, all that crowd, and then of course Rivers, and you just had to love Rivers, man. He gave everything he had, every play. He had an ugly ass throw, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I love Rivers, and now I got Herbert, man, and Herbert is the real deal.
Funny
So
thing, Herbert's good, but funny thing about Phillip Rivers, you ever heard some of the mic'd up video
Oh my
audio
God,
they've had
he's
on him?
hilarious.
And he's talking.
He's the biggest shit talker in the world.
He is,
man.
but he doesn't cuss. He's like, shoot, doggone it. Why'd you hit me hard? You hit me hard. Shoot.
I watch every Chargers content possible about. I mean, I'm a diehard. Like that's been my boys since Natron Means, honestly, and that was before the Panthers was around.
Yeah.
I think, or they might have been. They might have been coming in right there or whatever. But the only thing we got back in the day, I probably didn't even have ESPN in the early '90s, so it was ACC Saturday football. You could see Carolina or whoever.
Man, your
But,
team wasn't even on the original Tecmo Bowl.
Oh man, come on! I know. Hey, that hurt. Hey, but Walter Payton couldn't be stopped.
No,
Walter
gosh,
Payton.
he was awesome.
No,
Walter
there was-
Payton.
it was what's his name? Lawrence Taylor couldn't be stopped, and Bo Jackson couldn't be stopped. So if
Bo
you're gonna-
Jackson.
yeah, if you're playing
Christian
in a tournament,
Okoye
that's all you
was
gotta do is
good,
pick them
too.
two teams. Say what?
Oh, Christian Okoye was awesome.
Man,
The
what are you
running back
talking
for
about?
the Chiefs back then, Okoye.
Yeah,
he was
running
in
back
the
for the
next
Chiefs,
one.
man.
That was the Tecmo
Yeah.
Super Bowl, the original
But
one.
he was amazing.
Yeah.
yeah,
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 he was.
Bo.
He will be popping
Bo
off
and
like
LT.
it's nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, who would have thought? Look, gamers have to be making more than cornhole players because they've been live streaming for years. And wonder what I mean, from Tecmo Bowl to what they playing on ESPN, been playing on ESPN for years. What do y'all think the top gamers are making now?
Oh, they're making.
Oh, they make millions, man.
They were just talking.
They make a
about
lot
this.
more from their own stuff on their Twitches and all that. They make a lot more money by themselves than they do from any kind of sponsors or any kind of TV ads or anything like that. They get it all on their own, man.
Yeah, these
But they make lots. There's some 7-figure gamers, maybe some 8-figure gamers.
like
Oh, I
top
believe it.
World of Warcraft players, man, are in the millions. Those
Yeah.
they make tons of money playing. And
What's
as far-
that Fortnite superstar's name? He was freaking amazing. The green-haired kid.
Yeah.
What's his name? I can't remember.
You're in a whole
That dude
different
makes tons
universe
of money.
than what I'm in right now. I have no
I
idea.
play Nintendo. I got an old school Nintendo. I call Tetris and Tecmo Bowl. Then you talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Dr. Mario, let's go.
He's old school everything, man. He still got a damn flip phone. I'm trying to get him in Asheville. He don't even have damn.
Got a flip
He
phone.
don't even have damn
Let's
shit.
see, damn sure does. What model is that? Nokia.
This is Verizon.
Oh,
Ain't no
right.
Nokia.
Oh my
God.
He used to have a slide, but the slide
That dude
don't
still
work
presses-
on the 4G network.
He still presses the numbers 3 times to get his letters built.
No, man, you got to do the T9. The T9. If you know how to spell, you just spell the word out, and it guesses the word. You just got to know how to spell, though.
Like, how long does it take you to send a text message?
Like,
now?
I'm a
About
master
2 or 3
texter. I'm like,
minutes? You got it.
Oh, it's nothing. It ain't nothing. I'm telling you, I'm a pro.
No kidding. Holy shit, that's a 1992 phone. You better be a pro.
Yeah. I saw a reel today. I thought it was fake, but now I know there are people out there that still have flip phones. It was a reel of Brock Lesnar with a flip phone, and they were like, of course Brock Lesnar has a flip phone.
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
That's great.
Yeah. I remember my first flip phone. That thing was hard and like a brick. You could run over it with a car, man, and it wouldn't do anything to it. They were indestructible.
Yeah,
I remember an old flip phone with my car. I had to exchange it. So you had a better model. They don't make them like they used to, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, my favorite to this day, Mike would still go back to, was the Yalla Nextel. You could damn throw that thing.
Oh man.
Remember the chirp? Yeah, did y'all ever have Nextel? Birds, you have Nextel?
No, I didn't have Nextel, no.
Oh man, that was the joint back in the day, man. It was you had the direct speaker, so you could just hit somebody. It didn't matter who they was
all
with.
over the country, all
mean,
over the world, dude. It was awesome.
Oh man, Nextel was ahead of its time, man. They should have been really rich.
How about I think this was the brand Kyocera. That was my very first cell phone. Now this thing wasn't even a flip phone. It was basically like 3 inches long and about 3 inches thick. It was like a brick.
Well, we all knew somebody that had the damn card box phone.
Oh,
my family never. We all knew somebody had the whole damn card box phone. The damn get it out, and you got a whole damn. You had to stay attached.
Morse phone, I would rock it. If I had something portable like a belt that could hold that Zach Morris phone, I would rock that one all day.
Bro, I wasn't like that high up in the food chain of having a car phone. I thought when I got a pager, I was doing good. I thought that was a shit.
Oh, especially when you got a 143 or 69, boy, you damn low. That was them days when that come across the pager. Yeah, you just going to a payphone, what you was doing.
That's why they're the OGs, Mike. That's why they're the OGs. So that's kind of what I want to know. Tell me the premise of your show. I know we talked about that at we kind of briefly talked at Worlds. You told me you were going to do it, and then it took a little bit to get it all together. Tell me the premise of the show and what do you guys cover? Tell me some of your guests, things like that.
Well, Rob, to be honest with you, man, we're still struggling. I need to hire a producer. I need to hire a host. We're all totally new at this. Rooster just was lucky enough to be a good friend to come on and get embarrassed with me for a little bit until we do get better, honestly. I was so nervous the first show we did. I started taking shots, and I took 4 or 5 right before we went on. And I dropped the F-bomb probably 100. My wife made a damn drinking game of me dropping the F-bomb, I'll tell you that. They didn't nobody walk out of the house. They all had to stay the night. But
nobody says you don't have to cuss in your podcast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And we want to be that way, don't get me wrong. But man, I was just terribly nervous, man. I mean, it was something that we was new to. Rooster, I don't think had never done it, and he, like I said, he was just good enough friend to go on this journey with me. And hopefully we will get to the day where we can get a producer and get somebody in there to host it and stuff like that. But I mean, we've had great guests, as y'all know. I know a lot of the pros and have a good relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Jamie Graham and Trevor Brooks, and then we had this last episode. In the first episode, we had Duncan Clemmer. We're
Nice.
supposed to have Shane Andrews on there because he's the original OG of Gashouse and, pretty much my idol at Cornhole and, former world champ, just my dude. But he was about to have a baby right then, and it just didn't work out. Y'all know how that goes as far as podcasting. So
I wouldn't know about having babies and trying to
basically.
podcast, but
but I'm
When
talking
you gonna
about
get the pilot?
oh yeah,
the scheduled guest and shit like that, man. It's hard and to get everybody on the same page at one time.
yeah.
I got a whole nother respect for everybody that does it. It's
Well, I can tell you, man, just keep it going. Don't get down or discouraged. Trust me, this is mine and Rob's. I think this will be episode 26. And our first episode, man, we just pretty much were, what are we going to talk about? We both got cornhole experience. We can both go back 10 years, in the organizations. And you'll find your niche, man. You'll get on it. Luckily, I got another podcast, and I'm about 85 episodes into that, so I already had, my studio set up and the design and graphics and all that, and I knew how to produce. But now I got the lovely Laura over here producing. Basically, all she does is switch camera angles,
She's the best producer in the country.
No,
Do not
no,
take anything
Rob,
away from her.
we can't say that now because she really screwed up the other night when we had Jeff on.
Excuse me?
Well, I mean, he's in
okay.
Mississippi, and
Hey,
I put
Bert.
MI. You're supposed to catch that.
Oh.
Bird.
Oh,
Yo.
we're gonna leave that on. We're gonna put that on her. I like that.
Hey,
But
Bird,
I don't-
sit,
My
Yeah.
fault.
Send me a
You
message.
Don't know your state abbreviations.
Best producer in the country. In fact, she was the one who
Well-
asked. She did catch it, by the way.
Well, she
We
called
beat
it
you
after the
up.
fact.
She did catch it.
After the
Well,
fact.
she caught it.
Well,
It's still a catch.
Okay, better
Still a
me
catch.
than like a nasty comment on YouTube, okay? Count your blessings.
No, it's still going to
I
be a
don't read.
nasty
I don't read
comment
the
on YouTube
comments.
because I couldn't change
I don't
it.
read them.
Anyway, what's up, Heath?
Don't
I
read
know
the
you,
comments.
Oh no, you're good, brother. Hey, I was just gonna say, send me a damn DM. What Naughty Donkey Productions that charge me to produce something.
Oh,
So shout out to you, man. I keep up with what you're doing, man. Damn,
yeah,
y'all doing good things, man. Keep it up, like you said.
yeah, it's not like overnight success. We're still trying to figure out, how to get out there. What we have working for us is cornhole is it's such in its infancy right now, starting to be popular. I mean, we're at the birth of this, So, and there's not that many cornhole podcasts out there. So as the time keeps
And
going
fewer
by,
good
and
ones.
as time keeps going by and you're growing, there's going to be more and more podcasts. So it's best
Well,
now to establish it.
The OGs of the podcast are talking, they're throwing little jabs about a lot of new podcasts coming up. And I told Rob this last year, Worlds, and actually told Rooster, who is at the Boat Dog Open. Shout out Boat Dog, Rooster. But, yes, sir.
Who day?
Drew Day.
But,
I hate you. Go Browns.
Big F's Cornhole Podcast, they pretty much keep everything in line, with the bag reviews and the previews and stuff like that. They do a great job, and they kind of new in the game, and I didn't know them, but they have come on and they put a lot of work and time in. But I missed the Doghouse already. I don't know if y'all know that one, but that was kind of the OG of the Cornhole Podcast. And
What'd they do? They go away?
Yeah, they hung it up, man. He's done. Shout out to Brandon, Donnie, and Pat McPhee, though. They hung it up for a little bit. They might come back. They're kind of on the ropes right now, but so Big
didn't
Ass
realize
is
that.
Well, why are
Big
they?
Ass is kind of the joke, kind of the goats right now of the podcast cornhole stuff.
Well, why are these people hanging it up? You think?
I think he's got a lot going on with his kids, family stuff. Well, just his kids growing up and they're growing up fast, I think is the main deal. and he's got his own company, and he stays busy with that deal. And I respect the hell out of him. I mean, if y'all want to know the truth, that's why I haven't been around the last 6 or 8 years, like constantly, because I mean, I was coaching my son, my daughter was cheerleading, playing travel softball. Now my boys in showcase in middle school. So, I mean, of course, we would run our 5 to 6 events a year through Gashouse, our Christmas party and shit like that, and 600 party, and so on. But you got that. Them kids grow up so quick. You got to be there to see it, man. You can't miss that shit. I mean, it's unreal how fast they grow up.
God, man, yeah.
Yeah,
My youngest is 17 and about to join the Army. And
Oh,
my
man.
my oldest is already in basic training, so get out.
Props. Cheers
Thank
to
you.
that.
Who day?
yeah. My oldest she just turned 27. My oldest did, and my youngest will be 26 March 6th. So
God,
yeah,
you're old,
you're
Rob.
right. You gotta spend time watching them grow up. It's that's why you had them, right? You didn't have them to just let them do their thing. So
Oh, there's nothing better, man. There's nothing better than me going to the damn field and watching my boy play, or going and watching my daughter cheerleading, which she's more focused on a little academics this year, not cheerleading. But my boy's playing showcase and middle school, so it's a full-time job keeping up with them, but there's no other place I'd rather be. And that's
no doubt.
and I still keep up with cornhole. I love the game. I want to be around it, and that's why I told Rooster. I said, man, we at least got to talk about it. I mean, shit, if we can't make it out to all events, it is what it is. But if we can catch up with a Chucky Love or somebody, like he's somebody I want to get on the show here soon, or somebody like that, and just kick it with him for an hour like we're doing with y'all guys. I mean, that works for me, man. It keeps us in the game, keeps the Gas House name alive. Go ahead, Rooster.
My favorite part, Heath, is like we just talk about, like you're saying, old stories, bringing up old things that happen, and all these. My favorite thing is bringing up all these old names that haven't been mentioned in forever. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of people we've come across throughout the years that have been great players that haven't, that stopped playing for whatever reason. Like you said, you got your kids' games you want to go to and all this, or whatever other reason you might have. So it's like it's great reminiscing for me personally.
Well,
I'd still be playing if I didn't have the yips.
Well, Rooster, you were like you go way back, man. Like and Heath, you both go way back because I've been around since 2011, 2012, something like that. And as long as I've been in, I've known you, I think, Heath, in Gashouse Cornhole. And I remember Rooster, man, back in the day when I first started, you were at one of the first tournaments I played in. It was in Charlotte. It was ACO Major, I think, that Ryan LaBelle was running inside the flea market tent or something like that.
Metrolina Expo, maybe was it the Expo?
I know exactly where you're at. Yeah.
And I mean,
wide open area.
Yeah, and you were one of the big dogs back then. I mean, you were the guy in North Carolina. I remember names like Rooster, the Pilot. Then you got Shane Andrews and Crystal Man.
Love Danny Blanks.
Yeah, I mean, y'all were like the big four in North Carolina. Y'all were around before the Frank Mullins, the Jamie Grahams. Who else from North Carolina that's good now? The Tyler Poitras.
Bert, let me ask you this: at that tournament, it was Tiger there with what was the dude he used to play with that was dead on?
Matt Young.
Yeah. Yep, Matt Young. He was.
Were those
he
two
was
at that
one of
tournament?
the original ones. Yeah, I don't
Because
remember.
Me and Sellers played them, Heath, at the Metrolina thing in the finals. I remember that. So I don't know if that's that tournament you're talking about. It's probably about that time period, but
This was my second ACO tournament. I barely had a membership card in the ACO back then, so I didn't know anybody. I didn't know Matt Young. I didn't know Derek. I think I played in one of Matt Young's regionals, and he told me about this one. And I just went to Charlotte, man, on my own and got whooped. I was in, like, the lower bracket, too. I wasn't even in the pro. Yeah. And I do remember.
Everybody gets whooped their first tournament.
Oh, yeah. I went 0 for 2, man. Didn't even win a game.
My first one.
I'm still getting whooped. Shut up.
And you're an ACL pro, so what does that tell us?
Hey,
It ain't an easy field. Don't think it's easy.
hey, speaking of that, boys, I'm gonna go ahead and put myself out there. I mean, went to the North Carolina State Championship this weekend.
Uh-huh.
Played competitive, 0-2, 0-2,
Oh,
0-2, and competitive. I mean,
damn.
now
Heath.
my first game was the overall winner, and I didn't know him. Didn't have a fucking clue who he was. Uh,
Ain't that
but
crazy?
he showed me real quick. I mean, 10s, 12s, 10s, 12s. So he went up 11-1, come back, fought back like 17-15, and then went a couple air mails to him off the bat. He got me. Next game, I didn't give a fuck. I was ready to go home. I mean, you know what I mean? I was like, motherfucker, if I can't even win competitive, I need to. My OG in the game is gone. My name is gone. I mean, what the fuck? But the talent in North Carolina and the bags has got me fucked up too, man. Like the slick bags and going back and forth, this got me in between this. But shout out to all the talent in North Carolina, man. It's deep. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's talent
deep.
everywhere, man. It's unbelievable what the ACL has done to the talent pool, because everybody, they got that model. Anybody can play, anybody can win, and people are believing it. And they're out there working their butt off wherever they can, throwing bags all day, every day, and they're just learning how to throw 12s. And the slick bags are actually, it's something that's messing you up, because a block isn't anything you even see anymore. And these guys they're not employing a block ever. They're throwing these slick bags right down the middle, and they're finding the hole.
And and they're going to start coming out of nowhere, because Joe Burrow recently said that you should work out in quiet and then let your game do the talking or something like that.
I did see that.
He recently said you don't want to post your workouts, work out in silence. And that's what a lot of people are doing. That's what I did. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, when I decided to start playing, I was like, boom, there I am on the scene. Except for the very first tournament I played when I got waxed, because everybody gets waxed.
But that didn't happen.
You just don't.
That was like a backyard tournament, and just Matt Guy happened to be there, and a whole bunch of other.
Oh, nice.
Like I don't know. I got waxed. I thought it was good.
Oh, that sounds like
we all
me.
do. We all show up thinking we're good, man.
Like back in the day, I went to one of these tournaments in close to Fayetteville, and I used to try to find tournaments that were some nice payouts, and I knew nobody was going to be there, because then I thought I could win it, hands down.
Guilty.
Guilty. You know what I'm talking about.
Guilty.
So
me and Crystal Man, we went to. We would go wherever Shane and Danny were going. When I'd find out where Shane and Danny was going, we would go the other way. I mean, I'm just going to be real with you.
Well, I picked up a friend of mine. He's a decent thrower, he's probably like an 8 PPR, if we want to say what PPR is back then. So we go to this tournament up in Fayetteville. It's a veterans tournament. There wasn't too much information online, just the payout. And we get there, and they tell us that it's a one and done, random seeded. And I'm like, oh, shit. And then I look up, and I see Duncan Clemmer and his dad. I was like, fuck me. Are you kidding me? I was like, Brandon, maybe we won't have to play him the first game. And guess what? The first game, we had to play Duncan and his dad. And I threw against Duncan, and my boy threw against his dad. And, man, I held Duncan, but his dad just whooped my partner's ass.
Right, you're playing defense, and your partner's playing offense.
He was,
basically. And you're doing your thing, but at the same time, it's Duncan's dad ain't no joke either.
No, he was a lot better. It was a long ride back to Raleigh, I can tell you that.
Hey,
a long early ride back to Raleigh.
Yeah.
They both come out of the famous Nates. I mean, that's been around for years. There's been a lot of good players come through Nates, man, no doubt. Shout out to Nate for giving us a place to play for the last, since 08. So 14 years now. I mean, it's been a blessing.
Talk about Gashouse a little bit, Keith. I mean, I'm sorry, Heath.
Oh, no,
I called
you're
you
good.
Keith. Oh, fuck's a Keith around here. Sorry. But anyway.
Hey, I tell people, and they misunderstand me sometimes. I tell them like a Heath bar. Yeah, it's hard to, you can't. It's spelled different, but it's like a Heath bar. So.
Well, tell us about Gashouse, man. Gashouse been around for a while. What started that?
Well, first of all, I worked with Shane Andrews. We grew up, we played a little ball together. As you know, Bird, you're a former softball player, so me and him play some softball coming up. We worked together, and he's playing cornhole. He's playing a good 2-3 months, and I was watching it, and I'm like, damn, man, he's good at this, and I started messing around with him. Wouldn't go to a tournament because I'm like, he's too damn good. I mean, no sense in me going, hell, he's throwing everyone in, I can't even hit the board. But we got started a little bit and through Bedford City Cornhole, Jody Franklin, and I went up and I drew Dawson. First time I ever went to a tournament, got a second, got hooked from there. Went from there, went to Bristol 2010. But Bill asked me for a team name. I'd never had to come up with a team name. You know what I mean? We had never really played a whole lot of bring your own partners. I tell them Gashouse. So Gashouse was created that day. We won the qualifier, finished top 4 of a 128 team deal at Bristol. I don't know if y'all ever got to make it up there, but that was a great time at Bristol over the years.
Yeah.
Won a couple of NTLs that weekend. So from there, I started making shirts, jerseys. We've had some of the best players kind of represent our brand over the years. But they all come out of Nate's to start with. Like, I wouldn't sell nobody unless they come out of Nate's, I wouldn't sell nobody. But over the years, we've come across, and I've sent some to a lot of players over the country, and I've had a good following. I haven't been able to do it full time over the years just because all the other stuff we got going on, working a 40-hour, 50-hour job. The wife doing the insurance company, owning it, running it, helping them with a little bit of marketing. So it's kind of, I hadn't got to put the time I've wanted to in it, but it's definitely been a blessing to have all the support I have over the years, and so many good players rep my brand, man. If you went somewhere, you usually seen a Gashouse in the finals or the Final 8 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're always, I mean, you still got stuff going on. I see you post all the time. Hey, man, we're doing, oh, shit, what's that dice game now?
Left, right, center.
Yeah,
left, right, center.
You're doing that. You're doing like a spades tournament or something. I'm like, damn, this dude is like. It's a shame I don't live closer and I can't get in on this because that's like in my wheelhouse right there. Yeah.
But it's become more of a social thing for me because I've got a good following of just people that want to hang out and have a good time. Because I don't get to practice. I don't play no blind draws during the week. I mean, the only real time I get to play is during summertime. I built me a 40-foot deck on the back porch. So we get out there with the friends and we fill up the grill and we we have a good time out there. But as far as practice and throwing and playing competitively, it's a couple years till my son gets done playing baseball. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm going to be there every game with him. I mean, I don't give a shit. It is what it is. I mean, I know I suck. You can tell me I suck. It is what it is. But I mean, I'm going to be there and watch him and practices, games, whatever I can be before I worry about cornhole. But 4 or 5 years, who knows? Maybe I can get him interested a little bit. He don't give a shit. He just wants to play Fortnite and Madden and shit like that and talk to girls. But it is what it is. I was that age at one time, too.
Well, that sounds like a lot of cornhole players right now. Sit back, play Fortnite, and talk to girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and I can't blame them. Hell, I mean, it's what it is. I mean, we grew up playing whatever season, if it was football season, we're playing football in the yard. If it's basketball, we're shooting basketball. Baseball season, we're playing baseball. Mm-hmm. And the kids don't do it no more. Like, my son, he plays baseball all year round. I mean, that's just what he does. I mean, and during that wintertime, he's in the facility a couple times a night, or, a couple times a week. But it's just, I miss the kids riding by, seeing the kids out in the yard. You don't see it no more. Unless they playing cornhole. Yeah. Damn, unless they playing cornhole. You might see it.
Well, Rooster, you don't have kids, right?
No, none. No? I got a dog. Not in the same ballpark. I'm not trying to say the same thing. I know some people get upset.
No, I get that. Sometimes a dog's like just as worse as kids. I mean, you got to take a dog everywhere, or when you go on vacation, you got to worry about a dog sitter. You know, I think.
Well, I have an elderly dog too now that's on drugs all the time. So she's turning 15 here in a couple months. So.
Oh, yeah. Laura, you just struck an emotional little.
I want to
Laura
hang out with her. I want to hang out with your elderly dogs on drugs all the time.
You might, yeah, right.
Get some good stories.
Oh yeah, we kick it. There, you might hear in the background. I've been randomly going into mute to tell her to be quiet because she likes to randomly bark at me.
I love her. Sounds like a wife too.
Oh no, April Chesmark, where are you? Rob just said you bark
randomly
at him.
Barking, probably. She's randomly barking.
She's just running around the house
orders
barking.
that I don't understand.
Oh, no.
You know, it's in one after the other. I don't get it.
Yeah,
You gonna be in trouble.
He's
You
gonna be in trouble.
Rob.
He's gonna be in trouble after
Who,
this one.
me? Nah.
Are you
Yeah, not
drinking?
Rooster, don't get in trouble, bro. Don't get in trouble, bro.
Are you drinking that funny wine again?
I'm always drinking wine. You know that. The
Rooster,
podcast is when I'm cultured, man.
Oh.
I'm drinking a little bit of Pinot. It's La Crema, so you know it's a little higher class wine, I guess. I don't know. Tastes delicious. I drank the first glass so quick I wanted to get up and go get another glass, but I didn't.
Did you I don't know if you saw our podcast, fellas, with Ryan LaBelle, but
Oh my God.
boy,
I
Ryan
did.
was bombing away, boy. I think somebody counted. He did like 7 of those bombs. by the
Hey,
end,
and that's
So me puts
just
that.
that's just getting him started, man.
Oh.
Shout
I
out to
love
LaBelle,
that.
man. I mean,
That
he's
was-
been a big part of our area for years and done a lot
Yeah.
of great tournaments, a lot of great things around here.
He's
for
the
sure.
original in
Yeah.
South
Yeah.
Carolina. The original Carolina player that came up to Fountain Square. I'm not sure if he talked about that. I'm sure he did.
Oh, he did.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
right,
did.
right. That's what I thought. And
That's
yeah,
where he
so,
met.
yeah,
That's
why
where he
I
met
said that.
Frank.
He's the OG. He is the OG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he met Frank. He said that's where he told Frank he could run this shit better than him.
He's
Yeah, right. He does.
Ryan.
Hey,
is,
he has a-
Ryan's humble about it, but
is.
he's the godfather of tournament directors, man. He really is. And people that say, "Oh, fuck that," no, he's not. They just don't know. They haven't been around long enough. But if you've been in the
Yeah.
game 10+ years, you played under one of Ryan LaBelle's tournaments. There's no
Right.
way you got around it. You probably played in it somehow, whether it's the ACO. Most of it's the ACO. But he ran so many in North Carolina, and still does. He's got his
Right.
own thing going.
And the
Oh.
thing is, you don't know what a Ryan LaBelle tournament is until you've been to one of those tournaments that takes 10 hours because they don't know what they're doing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You show up, bags start throwing at 11, and you're not leaving until like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Ryan LaBelle had that done by 5.
yes,
And that was
He's a
before all the
he's a
software.
goat, man.
Yeah,
He's a goat. He's a goat. I mean, and he's even he throws a hell of a party too, boys. If y'all get an invite to the shack,
He's the man.
yeah. I mean,
No question. I need
no
to get
doubt.
back there. I need to get back.
Wonder, hey, serious question. I wonder how much money ACL is through at him. I'm surprised he ain't over on that staff, honestly.
Mm.
He's
Well-
a free agent. He's mercenary.
Well, he told us on the podcast he's loyal. He won't go.
Yeah, and that's one great
Yeah.
quality about LaBelle. I can tell you that straight up. He is as loyal and as damn
100%.
best dude. I mean,
He has your back.
I mean,
he has your back.
he's going to tell you straight up. You might not want to hear what he's going to say, but he's
Right,
going to tell it to you straight up. I mean, for real. And
Yeah.
I'll say that. I've been tight with him a good 10, for real.
Straight
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I like about him. And he is fun to party. I mean, back in my ACO days when I was a part of the hierarchy and was running tournaments and going to all the majors and stuff, I was partying with those guys after. And that dude's always – him and Corey Shook. That's another dude from your
Oh
area.
my God,
Yeah.
man.
Corey Shook and Ryan would get together, and it would be on. I mean,
I'll tell you,
just-
Ryan could have a podcast just by himself and
could.
just talking about whatever he feels like talking about once a week, and I'm sure it would kill, like, because it'd be amazing. And then Shook, of course, be a guest star on that.
Oh my God. He came down. I just saw him.
He'd be like Boomhauer.
Yeah, he would. I just saw him 3 weeks ago. He came down here to Florida. Him and man, who was he playing with? What's that dude's name he was playing with?
Kevin Arnold. Kevin Arnold.
Kevin Arnold. Yep, that's who he was playing with.
Didn't they be some pretty big names, and Shook made a hell of a run in singles too, I believe.
Yeah, of course. You know they did. Everybody looking at them. You know how they dress. They don't put no jerseys on. They don't put. He might have had an Iron Maiden shirt on. I'm not sure. But Shook. And these people are like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I'm like, "What? Y'all don't know him?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, you will." Give it a minute. I said, "Don't block him." They're like, "What do you mean?" All right, block him. Yeah, he made a hell of a run, boy. He was on fire too. I walked up to him like, "Damn, Shook, why are you killing all these people like this?" He's like, "I don't know. They letting me."
Man, I saw him get so drunk one night in Kenansville at ACL Major. We were at a bar after the tournament, and man, he got so drunk he passed out at the table. Like we're all just like me, Frank, Chris Clark, Ryan LaBelle. We're all sitting around the table and Shook's with it, and he just fell asleep on the table. And then he got that zombie look, like
You know what's really bad? He was driving us home from Kernersville, no, it might have been Kenansville. I don't think it's the same night though. Yes. And then all of a sudden I hear the rumble strips. I'm like, Shook, pull over. All right, it's time for me to drive. All right, that Shook, pull over. Yeah, I mean, but I love him to death though. He's one of my favorite. And he has as much fun as anybody. He don't give two shits what anybody thinks. Yeah. He goes out there and he has a good time, and he's playing good right now. I mean, he's got them Holland Cats in his hand. He's got. What do y'all think the Holland's going to do this year? I mean,
the hot ones?
Man, you know they're going to be good.
Derek
and Josh
Hollands.
together.
They've always
man, you know they're great. I mean, Derek Holland was the first great player that I ever saw live. And, it was before I ever really got to see Matt live. But I was at an ACL, a national. Remember the one ACL National they had in like the warehouse? It was kind of cold out there. It was in North Carolina.
I played with Smokey. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, you remember it? And Holland was practicing. And I seen him make like 48 bags in a row practicing. I'm like, oh my God, this dude is incredible. And then he started throwing under his leg. He was really the first guy that I ever saw throw under his leg and throw four baggers. He'll play you a cash game under his leg, Derek Holland. And then all of a sudden, Josh starts coming up and being who he is. And holy moly, that family can throw some bags. So I look for him to do big things, actually, in the pro division this year. I know they're both rookies, but they're not real rookies.
Man, Josh, he's got my throwing style. He kind of took my shot from me.
You have
you got the gift,
a pretty unique style.
I do, but I have that low liner. So I was throwing a bag at LaBelle's Burner Series, and I did one of the ones where I knocked it off the back. It was a low liner. I knocked it off the back and airmailed it. And they're like, "Oh man, that was Josh Holland shot." I was like, "Josh Holland shot? Come on, man!" I was doing that way before Josh Holland, that low liner. And I went up to Josh Holland later and I told him about it. I was like, "Come on, man, you gotta let him know." It was like, that's my shot. But I stole my shot from Michael Bailey, so shout out him.
How do you think?
Man, that's one of the old school pros right there, Mike Bailey.
Are you playing right now, Rooster? Or are you dipping your toes into the ACL or?
I'm trying. No, I like to. Yeah, I mean, I'll play. I like to play some tournaments, whatever. I'm playing in LaBelle's Burner Series as LaBelle's partner. That's what got me into it. His old partner last year was Bolton. Shout out Bolton, RP. And LaBelle asked me to take Bolton's spot, so I took that as an honor. So I was like, all right, man, I'm not gonna be very good. Like I don't throw bags anymore. He's like, that's all right, man. It's just come on out and play. So I got out there and I started throwing. I started having fun again. Heith drugged me out to Asheville. and I really started throwing. Like I threw for like 4 or 5 hours, and I started getting my shot because I was using Shane's Titan bags. It's like that's the thing that I feel like was really starting to throw me off. Is the bags started getting super slick, and I'm a hard thrower. Like I throw hard and low.
Yeah.
Slow and low. That is my tempo. Actually, fast and low. I was just trying to throw Beastie Boys lyric out there.
Did you just make that up?
No, that was the Beastie Boys lyric I tried to throw out there. But I throw fast and low. That's my tempo. But anyway, so after Asheville, I went back to another burner series for LaBelle, and I played singles for the first time because I felt like I was throwing pretty good. I wasn't throwing the Titan bags, but I was throwing something else, and I won a couple games, but ended up, blowing a big lead, which is classic Rooster. And but I had fun, and I was having fun again. That's the other thing. That's the other important part. It's like I had moments where I felt like, okay, I got this again. I can do this if I just start showing some consistency. And that's the main thing about it, is just consistency. You just got to get out there and practice. Like my kind of throw has all kinds of movement in it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not constantly practicing that motion, like you're bound to just lose it. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, yeah, I'm to make your answer longer, make my answer longer to your question. Yeah, man, I'm slowly getting back into it thanks to Ryan LaBelle and his burner series. And Heith and Shane is going to start dragging me out of some tourneys too. And nice. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Cool. I think all the OGs need to come back. I think 2023 is going to be the year. That's the year I'm going to try to come back. Knock on wood.
It's crazy to me though. You got the OGs and everybody that's new. I mean, you got these guys that they're accomplished players. They're winning a lot of stuff. And they've been playing for 6, 8, 10 months. They don't even know the name Rooster, right? Mm-hmm. Just like you said, oh, you just did a Josh Holland shot. Are you freaking kidding me? My name is Rooster, bro. I'm Rooster. And they're like, okay. And
I immediately found Josh Holland.
I would have too. I would have brought him over to that dude. Come here.
Right. Let him know right now. Let him know. Tell him.
Well, look, Rob, that's like there's a whole generation of basketball fans that don't know who Larry Bird is. Michael Jordan.
Right.
They think that freaking LeBron James is the GOAT. These fucking kids. Well, what's wrong with them? I don't get them. There's one now.
But that's the way it is.
Hey, Bird, that's a perfect segue. Do you think weed will ever be legal in North Carolina? I know you deal with it.
Man. So.
Oh, man.
How in the hell was that a perfect segue?
I don't know. LeBron and weed. LeBron and weed.
The NBA. You talk about the NBA, it's full of weed and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like going that way, man. Everybody's wanting
I don't think so, man, because, North Carolina is a classic Bible Belt state, man, and, conservative. I'm down the middle, but I lean more right, all right? And
I know that. I respect that.
Yeah, as long as North Carolina is predominantly conservative, I don't think so. I would like to see weed become legalized in North Carolina. Even if it was, I still couldn't do it because of my job, because it's federal.
Yeah, but, it'll never be legal federally I don't think in our time.
But I think that as far as the economy goes, it would be a big deal for North Carolina, and tobacco farms with
RJ Reynolds. RJ Reynolds. I mean, how you think? Have y'all watched the ACC the first season of the ACC, the documentary, RJ Reynolds Coliseum and stuff? No. Tobacco. They built the first Coliseum in North Carolina to play basketball in. It only held 12,000 people. It was from tobacco.
Yeah,
and I mean,
it's a monster business.
Yeah,
that's another reason that weed will ever be legal in North Carolina because of your ties to tobacco. I believe that would take away the money that's generated for tobacco if you made weed legal in your state.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. I mean, you got those lobbyists that will try to keep it out of being legal.
And people will argue with you to your face until they're blue in the face that tobacco isn't as bad for you as weed is. Come on, man. People smoke packs of cigarettes a day. Stoners, they probably smoke 3 or 4 joints a day. But like an average user, how many times do they smoke a day? I'm not really sure, but I'm sure it's not as many cigarettes as a damn cigarette smoker smokes. You know,
Right.
And I think it's done a lot of great things medically too, man. I was kind of getting more towards the medically thing, but I just had to get that in there with you because I wanted to hear your perspective. Because I mean, I didn't know how, I knew you've been in the law enforcement game for a long time.
Yeah.
And wanted your perspective on it.
Well, you just made a good point. Anything that can be prescribed by a doctor and you can get in a pharmacy to help you medically should be legal, man. I mean, it's just like I don't get it.
It's another conversation, but I just wanted your perspective, man. I've respected you for years. I know. I mean, and I think it's a good conversation, but different podcast. Get back to cornhole. Let's go.
Smoking weed could make your cornhole game better. I don't know.
No, it's the Adderall. It's the Adderall nowadays, boys. How can you literally drink 30, 40 beers and stay up all day and still fucking be zoned in?
I'm not a beer drinker when I play cornhole, man, because I need all of this. I need all of this, brother. I need all of my mentality when I play cornhole, because if I get the slightest buzz, I'm done. I can't focus anymore. It's off. Like, if I start getting kind of wobbly, the way I stand, I have one foot, my front foot, my back foot's lined up with it in the line, and I lean over a lot. And if I'm off a little bit as far as being intoxicated, my throw's gone. My technique is gone. But these people that hold beers in their non-throwing hand, and Adam Hissner, he holds a beer in his left hand when he throws, and Matt Guy and Brett Guy, they drink every time they play.
That's how we started, back in the day. Like I said on our first episode of the OGs of Cornhole back in 2000, 2001, that was the thing. It's like you're holding a beer in one hand and throwing the bag with the other one. I didn't start holding all the bags. Everybody has their own style when they're about to throw their round. I used to do a bag in one hand and just one bag in each hand, you know what I mean? And then just constantly pick one up. So I always had two, because that was like my beer in the other hand. Like when I would go to the terms, because that's how I started playing. It'd be like the beer in one hand and the bag in the other. It wasn't until, I don't know, way down the line I started holding all 3 bags. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe that's that old school. Those are Kentucky and Ohio boys right there. So yeah, maybe that's in that area kind of thing. Because like I said in our first episode, I feel like they've been doing it first.
It's a good point.
I mean, that's where it started.
Maybe it's the OG
right there
thing.
In Cincinnati is where it started. So
hey, I'll support that. Who day?
They the people who started cornhole.
right.
Rob, you don't drink while you play, do you?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Sometimes. I'm on and off. Like weekly, I don't drink, or then weekly I might drink. It just depends on what's going on. But I don't need to drink to play, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There are people out there who need to drink to play. I don't need to drink to play.
That's why some players do. It's in the mentality, man, and I think that's why Matt Guy separates himself, because he can keep that killer mentality and fucking go out there and throw 11s drinking beer or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're like, I'm not gonna go throw bags sober. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna have a few beers while we're playing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to drink a Coke. But there's several of them that drinks from when they open the bar. I mean, you know what I mean? And some of them don't get comfortable till they're 5 or 6 in.
They open the bar. They're drinking in the parking lot, and then they open the bar, and then they'll drink there.
You know what I mean? They're 5 or 6 in there. They don't get comfortable till 5 or 6 in. You know what I mean? And
that's true.
it is what it is, man.
Look, I seen some drunk people at cornhole tournaments, man. I seen some
Oh, my
drunk
goodness.
fools. I mean, some people
Oh, my
gotta have it.
goodness.
Gotta have it. It's one of those, but it's one of those sports where you turn it on ESPN, and there's a cornhole player, professional athlete, with a beer in one hand, throwing a bag in the other. You're like, yep.
Well,
That's our
I think
sport.
that's all about to change. I think it's slightly about to change because the league is trying to get a little bit more professional. So I've heard some talks in the backgrounds have said that maybe tournaments might go dry.
That makes sense.
I think Trey's gonna have a big hand in that. He's doing a great job, man.
Yeah.
Trey has done, I think, got that thing, pretty much moving forward, and like he's killing it with everything he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got it by the balls. Stacy's kind of handed it over or whatever, and then Trey's got it all.
It's just
at the same
roles,
time-
It's not like Stacy's doing anything. It's everybody. When you get as big as the league is, you got to have people that have roles. You got to have people that have jobs. And Trey has a job. Stacy he's the owner. He's
the man.
He's
the man.
He's the man. He sits back and he directs a lot of people to do what they do. And this thing is just coming around, and I think it's growing faster than they even understand. So I don't think they ever have enough staff. I think there's many more positions that they could fill, and it could help what is going on in that league office. But Stacy's doing the best he can with everything that he's got around him, and I think he's trying to surround himself with successful people and people to make sure that the success of the league is their number one goal. And Trey has been that guy for 5 years for sure, and now he's got that real title of, I think it's like media management, and he takes care of all that stuff on the media side and the PR side. So does a
he's
great
the
job,
man.
like you said.
He's the man. And I'll tell you, one of the smartest men that I've met around the game for years is Dave Weiser. Shout out to y'all on y'all's podcast for having him on. He was a great interview, and been one of the best. Like, he's right there with LaBelle. Like, I feel like, as far as tournament organizers, smart. I mean, him and LaBelle was right there 1 and 2 for years. But Dave Weiser was and they got Todd from Arizona. I mean, they have built the module to have the whole country. That's why I was saying LaBelle was kind of missing, because that was the only piece. Now they got Kat over. Shout out to Kat. She's great in her role too, I'm sure. But and the money that's about to come in there, it's about to be unreal what they're about to get through that. So,
with the piggyback on what you're saying, Heath, yeah, the ACL has really grown the sport. But like back in the day when I was certified official commissioner with the ACO, there was pockets. They had just created the conferences, and you could count how many certified officials were in each conference back then. Now with the ACL, man, it's just so many. We talked about this on our last podcast, Rob, about you couldn't even answer this. Like, how many certified officials or directors are there in the ACL? Because there's so many. There's so many players now. But not only in the ACL, but the ACO is still booming too, man. Even though everything that's going on with the ACO is
still selling out.
Still
man.
selling
People just
out.
want to play the game, man.
Selling out.
People
all
just
the
want to play
majors.
the game in the end.
Yeah. So I mean, this sport is definitely growing, and it just keeps growing. And people put these damn things right here in their hand, man. These bags, and they can't get enough of it. And it's addicting. I remember I was back in the day.
And you two as OGs, Rooster, you were talking about it was a long time before you held all 4 bags because you were always holding your beer. When you guys started, it wasn't about PPR and 12 in the hole all the time. It was about having a good time, partying with your friends and drinking some beer and loving life, and that's why you could hold a beer and throw bags. It's just it's so serious now. And it's funny to see the transition of the guys who have been in it forever. It was always serious to Matt. I saw a TV clip where he was on TV in Cincinnati, and he was playing Randy I can't remember Randy's last name.
Atha.
Yep, Randy Atha.
Right
And
there.
they were playing. It was like called the King. It was called King Cornhole, and it was a show that was on every week. And it's always been serious to Matt Guy. So of course he's the GOAT because he's always taken it serious. He's never wanted to lose.
Wait,
He's always been competitive.
Rob, are you going to start this GOAT talk tonight?
No, I'm just saying that.
No,
of course
because
he's the GOAT.
I want to ask Heith and Rooster.
Well, if they don't say Matt Guy, then they're just. I mean,
No, because like you get on these Facebook groups and these message boards, and you hear all these people say, "How's Matt Guy the GOAT? He's not the GOAT." And then they start naming off all these younger players, Jamie Graham, and oh god, brain fart, Ryan Windsor, Trey Birchfield. I'm like, come on, man. These guys are great players. They're good players, but they're not the GOAT. You got to have a resume to be the GOAT. And it just makes me want to slap them one by one, all of them that say Matt Guy's not the GOAT. I mean,
I agree 100%. Matt Guy has been on top of the game longer than anybody else, and he continues to be on top of the game. I don't understand how that doesn't make sense.
yeah.
Make that not make sense. How about that?
yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm
No
sorry.
kidding.
Yeah, right now I'm just looking at Heath's his window.
Oh no, y'all
It
good.
looked like a ghost dancing over there. I couldn't stop looking at that.
I went walking. My bad, boys. I had
Got
to
that green, got
I had
that
to
green
let my
screen.
dog in.
I mean,
I
it
had to
looked
let my
pretty
dog
funny.
in. My huskies, goddamn. But there's no other conversation with
Yeah.
Matt Guy's the GOAT. I mean, like Jamie Graham was on that run when he won that King Cornhole in ACO days.
Yeah.
Like
One of the
if
greatest seasons of all time.
Like,
without a doubt.
and then he just pulled off a hell of a season last year too. You know what I mean? The year before last,
Right.
killed it then. Like he was on that conversation of being in the conversation, but there's nobody even in the
If
conversation
you
right
want to
now.
talk about second, then
Right.
you got a good conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
with Windsor and nobody's giving a Cedro love. Like, boys, I got to tell y'all about my fantasy cornhole team before we get off here. Have y'all heard that?
No.
Have
Tell
y'all-
us
No,
about
I like it.
Oh man, y'all ain't heard this shit yet? $100 a man. It was $100 a person. All right, I went homers. You know, I'm a North Carolina guy.
it. Uh-huh.
I had the 6 pick. It's $100 a person, so this is serious money. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've got to sit 2 of these people, but my picks was Josh Allen, Eric Davis, Isidro, Trey Hunt, Kyle Malone, James Washington, Jordan Langworthy, Brandon Jones, Philip Hayden, and Brandon Davis.
How many people?
There's 10 people in the league, so there's 100 players picked.
That's solid.
The only one
I
I
mean,
don't know
I-
is James Washington.
You don't know
He's
James
good.
Washington?
No,
Watch out,
I
man.
don't. I apologize.
I call him
James.
6X.
6X.
I call him 6X because he always wears a shirt just way too big for him. So I always call him 6X.
He's up there with pitcher. He's up there with pitcher
Yeah,
and damn
He's in that area.
Okay.
Weston
Maryland,
Allen, damn Baldwin, Campbell.
Baldwin,
you know,
Campbell.
yeah.
Campbell lives
but-
down here now.
Yeah, no doubt. But
Campbell's a Florida boy now.
hey, for doubles, I grabbed Renner Baldwin first, Clemmer Jones, Damon Dennis, Philip Hayden,
Oh my
So-
gosh.
Sorrells and Crawford. Shout out! I listened to y'all's podcast where they damn one. Cobb, and then I went Davis and Markov.
What?
So I feel like I'm loaded.
So how are you doing this fantasy leagues? It's just a bunch of Gashouse guys or friends or?
Oh no, it's
How did it come out of- You didn't invite me? Man,
oh
come
no,
on.
I just happened to be lucky enough to be in the Kansas City Cornhole group.
Oh,
those
shout-
boys.
Gotcha.
Shout out
I
Mark
gotcha.
Isley. You know what I mean? It was $100
Yeah,
a piece, and I mean, you know,
So how do you
you had to
score?
put up your money.
How do you score
Uh,
points?
No, I ain't got time to get in all the scoring. Like as far as I ain't even. I
He
just
said,
know it.
what he meant to say was, I don't know. I'm just waiting to see if I win.
I just put the best players in place. You know what I mean? That's what.
Gotcha.
I mean, you get bonuses. No, I mean, like you get 100 points if you win your bracket, shit like that, and then so on goes down. Then you get bonuses if you throw over 11 PPR or some shit like that. There's several different incentives along the way. But I mean, with the team I got, shit, I like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
I'd like
So
to get into
did you guys do a draft?
Yes, we did a live draft on the KCC page.
That's really awesome, man. That's cool.
Look at Gashouse.
I think he did like 4 of them, man.
Damn.
So
I can't believe you didn't reach out to me. What the heck?
I think
Gashouse
boys, I'm
needs
about
to make
to
their
text
own.
him.
I think Gashouse needs to do your own.
Maybe in the future, maybe we can have a little podcast group. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we could all get together. Reach out
Yeah.
to Sean and them and Big Ass and what is it? King Seats is doing pretty big, and who else is in the game right now? Front.
I truly don't know. It's not.
There's several of them. There's several little podcasts.
They're
Yeah,
friends
Girls
of the
Throw too. Yeah, I listened to that one. That was a great episode y'all did. No doubt. There's a lot of them that's popped up, but we'll see who weeds out, you know. And we might not make it. Who knows? But I got a hell of a co-host, and I appreciate him, and can't thank him enough, man.
Well, look,
he's
man.
a true OG, man.
You
I
guys,
show up and talk, man.
y'all, like I
that's
said,
the best, man.
y'all keep it going, man. Just don't get discouraged and stuff, because it happens all the time. I get discouraged. I'm like, fuck this. I just want to tear all the cameras off the wall and just be done with it all, because I could be doing something else besides looking at Rob's amazing beard for an hour and a half a night.
That's it.
Yellow beard, yeah.
The average podcast lasts 7 episodes, so get past that 7th episode, and you're gonna be all right, man.
Hey, one thing about us, we only do once a month too. You know what I mean? We was really trying to go the Patreon route, like we was gonna do once a month the first season, and then try to go to Patreon. But Big Ass has got that and going that route, so we got to regroup a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. We're just gonna try to build our following with once a month, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's hard to do, man. I think it's hard to do a once a month podcast and build a following, unless you're out there marketing the heck out of it with the other 3 weeks. But the consistency, I think, Mike is big on consistency, so we do one once a week, and now we try to get one that's in the can in case we can't do it in the once a week, but we just try to release one and keep it going. And consistency is one of the things that people start looking for. They start anticipating your episode, and maybe once a month will work. I don't know for sure, but I think you got a lot of content. I know you got a lot of content in you, and I know you got great relationships with tons of pros. So just to be able to get a lot of your local players on there, some of the OGs, like get Crystal on there. I know she gets nervous sometimes, but get Crystal on there and get her to talk, man. She's
my people, man. And we got to get Shane on there. I want Derek and Josh. We had Duncan. We've had so many great players. Eric, Trey,
real OGs. Like I want Michael Bailey, like the Cincinnati Michael Bailey on there, and then
Jack Staggy.
I get Rick Mays on there for sure.
Oh man, Rick, there you go.
So
100% got Rick Mays on there. Like that's no question that's happening. I know I can get Mike Bailey. Me and Mike Bailey lived on the same street growing up. That's why I copped the style.
Has Rick Mays hasn't played ACL at all, has he?
I think he's come to like a world championship and maybe a national once or twice, because he was there. Of course, we had a long toss at the one he was at, and he probably won it. Rick Mays and that stinking long toss he's got, boy.
Long toss,
man. I remember.
He'll spend
he
the whole
owns
day
that
long
yeah,
toss.
he will. Yeah, he will.
Beating him with the long toss.
You talk about OGs, man. I remember. Rick Mays used to play with Cortez Hudson. Rest in peace, Cortez.
Rest in peace, Cortez.
And,
rest in peace, yes.
Those
I play
guys.
where Tez and Rick Mays used to play. Every time I go to Cincinnati, I go to the spot where they all play coming up, man. And I'm telling you what, that's the best spot to play in the country.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Every day you have a group of guys show up just to play cornhole. There's not money being thrown on the line. You usually got 2 sets of boards going, and it's just, who's the best person that day. And it's like you got wood boards, and the bags are going to be like your old beat up bags. They're not going to be fancy bags. You got to and you complain about a crooked board. It's like you got to go through the game. You know what I mean? It's like we're playing backyard rules for real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry, I went on a little tangent. You bring up Cortez.
Man,
that's my guy, man.
Cortez, man, he was nasty. He was one of the nastiest players I ever played against at a major in ACO. And he would he was the nicest dude. Now you want to talk about looks being deceiving. You look at Cortez and you didn't get that what you thought. He would smile at you and he'd have those gold teeth up front, man, and he was cool as hell, man. And he
had what Rick Mays calls as the gentleman's toss. Like nobody had the throwing style that he threw. I can't even begin to mimic it. Rick Mays would be able to mimic it, but he has the throwing style that nobody else had. And yeah, like you said, man, he's unassuming, but you get him on the boards, he's a straight killer.
Yeah,
one of the best air mailers I've seen. Like you want to talk about best air mailers of all time? He's in my top 3.
Ooh. Danny Blank's got to be in there. No, that's
there's Heith trying to get the pilot on his podcast.
And then we got to talk about my third one. But I'm gonna tell you.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, no, I got Matt Guy and Cortez.
Hey, they was world champs though, so shout out to them. Rest in peace, Cortez and Rick Mays. We definitely, they was world doubles champs in ACO, no doubt. What year was that, Rooster? You remember?
I was there, and I don't remember. 14 or 15.
In Indiana, maybe? No, I wasn't in Indiana. I can't remember, man.
I was there. 12, I went to that one.
11.
2000, was it? I thought it was like 14.
Maybe it was 14.
14. You're right, man. It all blends together for me.
It's so old, man. I started playing cornholes in my 30s, and now I'm like, I have to say I'm still mid-40s. I'm going to say
mid-40s my ass.
I'm 46, Rob. That's mid-40s. Stop.
Man, I keep forgetting you're younger than me, man. That's crazy. Look at you and look at me. Golly, I can't believe you're younger than me.
You're an
Somebody
ass.
having hip surgery. My man over there about to have hip surgery, knee replacement. I'm like, golly.
Hey, I'm trading. Which one of y'all want to be on the sticky side? I'm trading co-hosts.
I suck. So, I mean, it needs to be restricted.
I just talk. I have no planning.
Hey, before we wrap this up,
that's us.
Hey, before we wrap this up, because we're pushing like an hour 20 right now. They got an ACL National coming up this week. It's February 9th. So in a few days, they start that ACL National. First National of the season in Vegas. Who you guys got, man? Hey, let's start with Rooster. Who you got?
First National in Vegas. Matt Guy playing. That's who I got.
Yeah.
He's playing.
How about you, Heith?
That's who I got.
I mean, since he took him, I mean, that kind of leaves it up to anybody, I feel like. I mean, there's 25 or 30 you could pick right here, but
it's an open field for sure, man.
Besides Matt Guy,
first on the spot, it's like, damn, I ain't got a chance to think. I got to say Matt Guy. It's like we're talking about the goats. Right. It's like I got to give my easy money, Matt Guy.
I mean, and you got to, and then the second pick is kind of everywhere. You don't know who you want to like. I mean, you just like, I'm taking the hometown. I'm taking the homer. Give me Josh Allen.
All right.
Wow.
Well, nice pick. How about you, Rob?
So Trey Hunt is coming off of a conference win down in Andalusia, Alabama. Just a couple weeks ago, he got the Southeast Conference win, and that's the conference with the most amount of pros in it. And he took down everybody, took the overall singles win. So I'm looking for Trey Hunt to at least win his bracket in singles. I'm not sure what he's going to end up doing against Matt Guy or somebody like Josh Holland, because those guys, they bring a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick with Trey Hunt for a while, at least to win his bracket.
Nice pick.
Okay. So I'm going to go with a former guest on the show. I'm going to go with
Jay Rubin.
I'm going with Jay Rubin. I'm going to pick Jay Rubin. I think this is his time. I think Jay's going to come through, but I also got a second pick. I'm going with Jay, but I think Cheyenne Renner's going to be right there too.
She's good.
Yeah.
She's good. She's legit.
It's going
She
to be
don't
interesting.
roll. She don't. She
Rob,
shoots, slide, push it. I'm a dark horse pick. Go ahead and throw me up there as a dark horse.
Is Cheyenne in talks for the gloat?
the gloat,
gloat.
greatest lady of all time.
Gloat?
I don't know, man.
There's so many of them though over the years. I mean, Papke might have a resurgence.
Right now, she is. I think she's a little. She's a little.
She's in.
Yeah,
Well, let's
she's
talk
like
resumes.
Joe Burrow, kind of.
We'll talk
No, I'm
resumes.
just kidding. I'm sorry.
No, like Stacia Pugh and Christina Papke. How many championships have they got throughout the years? You know,
I think
Right.
Stacia has 2 and Christine has 2, right? But overall, women, see, they don't really do a women's singles. That's the one thing that I feel that they need to start doing is a women's singles, like a Queen, but they put them in with the open singles and they have women's doubles. And Rosie and Sam they have dominated that over the years. And so
that's a tough one, man.
it's just hard. It's hard, man. I'll say that the gloat in the end, as this ACL thing keeps rolling as a train, the gloat will come from Florida.
Oh, homebody. He picked the conference guy to win the national. Now he's going with ladies from Florida to be the gloat.
I'm just saying, man, when
You're
you look at first and second over the last, I think 2 years have been from Florida. First and second from Florida. So Cheyenne and Sarah finished second the last 2 years to Rosie and Sam.
All right.
So
there you have it. Rob's a homebody.
I can't defend that, but I will say Crystal Mann was one, and she's got to be in the top 3. She's got to be in the top 3.
Put her in there. Gotta put her in there.
But a lot of people,
that girl was amazing.
A lot of people that just started playing like 6 years ago won't even know who Crystal Mann is.
She went out to California and played with Courtney Coy a year or 2 ago, I believe. Now. She's not playing, of course, like on the regular, and she's running her own business and doing her thing and raising her family too. But
we need her back, man. We need her back.
I've never. Well, there's a few coming, but it's different type of bags and different kind of conversation. You know what I mean? Because she used to do it
for
with
sure.
Whatever. She could do whatever.
Heath, do you remember that tournament that it was probably about 8 years ago? Danny Blanks had a tournament for his son. It was like a charity benefit, and it was in a gymnasium.
I was there.
You were there? So I went to that tournament, and it was like a blind draw format, but it was a blind draw where, you switched partners after 2 games. There's a name for that, right, Rob? I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But,
that was back in that day. They wasn't.
Look, show Rooster screen.
Bagging for blanks. Yes. That's awesome.
Raise it up further, higher. There it is.
Oh, Rooster, you can't show that. That's 3rd place.
Oh,
you
that's
better put that up.
I forget who I was throwing with.
Well, look, that's Rooster. That is bullshit. Because let me tell you what happened. So I go there. I go there, and I'm like, oh, blind draw. Okay, great. I'm going to get the worst guy here. That's my luck with blind draws. I get Crystal Mann. Crystal Mann is my partner, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to run this shit. Bro, we went 2-0 on our first 2 games, and then they switched us. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. They took Crystal from me.
It was one of those tournaments.
Yeah. They switch up the teammates, man, after 2 games.
Don't those suck so bad, dude?
Oh, I was
my
like,
gosh.
she was literally the best blind draw partner I've ever had in my life, and they took her away after 2 games. It's like, you got to be kidding me. But anyway, that's why you got that trophy, Rooster, because if me and Crystal were still on teams, it would have came to us.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
No, I can't even remember who I was playing with. I probably let my partner down.
Oh, no. Oh, I miss tournaments like that, man. Those were fun.
That was a good time.
Yeah. Well, guys, look,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we're going to wrap this one up, man. Man, we're pushing an hour and a half on this, and I tell you, I could go longer, but my computer can't. So, thanks for being on the show. I mean,
Yeah.
hey,
Man,
Yeah.
go ahead,
Honor,
Rooster.
man. We appreciate it.
yeah. Rob, you got
Hey.
anything else before we get off?
Hey, good luck, Rooster. Root hard, man. I hope it works out for you. Bring the
Hooray!
championship back to Ohio. I'm a Browns fan. I grew up in Cleveland, so you know
Fair
it's
enough.
cool. But
I
You
know
know,
many
AFC
Browns
North.
fans.
yep, AFC North, it's cool. I ain't gonna bitch, and I love Joe Burrow. He's a Buckeye, then a Bengal Tiger, and now a Bengal. So
Right.
it's cool.
And Joe's
So,
have a
good
good
luck.
history in the Super Bowl. I mean, you got Joe
Joes
Montana,
do
you
have
got
a good
Joe
history.
Namath, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, right.
I
Here we
like it.
go.
Joe Flacco.
Add to the legacy.
Joe
Who dat?
Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Who dat?
Oh,
That's
shit.
right. That's a good one.
Forgot about that
Who
one.
dat?
He's a cornhole player, too, isn't
Y'all
Sorry.
get me pumped up now. Why isn't it Sunday right now? Y'all get me amped. I'm ready to
Hey,
he
hey, good luck,
thanks a lot,
Rooster.
man.
go.
Hey, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Well, look,
Hey, thank y'all, man.
yeah.
It's a pleasure being on the show, man. Rob, you've come over the years to the 600. We got to get Bird there. Come to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Coca-Cola 600 one year. You
Hey,
know,
if you
we
guys
had
do
one
that
hell of
again
a
this
party.
year, I'm coming.
Yeah, I mean, so I think we got something in the works. Me and Rooster might do a live show out there. Maybe we can hook up with y'all and do a little joint podcast or something. But
One of the best
thank
parties
y'all
of the
for
year,
sure.
Yeah, speaking
I'll
of
be
that,
there if you're
uh,
there.
so check
But
out,
thank y'all for having us.
yeah, so check out the OGs of Cornhole. You got Heith and you got Rooster. Where can they catch you guys at, man? Are you guys on, the basic podcast platforms?
We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, and you can catch us on Facebook if you want to get to us. We appreciate everybody listening. You know what I mean? We're young, like I said. I need to hire a producer and a host. I suck, but it is what it is. We're,
Grassroots, baby.
Well,
Grassroots.
You're fine, man.
I'm gonna keep it real, man. I don't sugarcoat shit. It is what it is. But we get some sponsors. Who knows? So if you wanna hook up with us and you want it to be real, holler at us, man.
Word.
And I gotta give Rooster a shout out, man, for him damn sticking through this thing with me, man, and
I'm
being
having
there.
fun.
I mean,
It's fun. We're
So,
having a good time.
and-
That's what matters.
You
We're
guys
having
just
a good
keep-
time.
Just keep powering through, man. I'm sure me and Rob get told every day by people we can't hear that we suck. But guess what? We don't give a damn. We just keep going forward, man. Well,
They
look,
gotta be
man.
listening to you to tell you suck, though, right?
That's right.
right,
That's right.
yeah.
You know?
Tell him, Rooster. Tell him, Rooster. I love it.
And you even made Laura laugh on that one. So, all right. Well, look, you guys be good. Hey, look, everybody traveling out to the ACL National in Vegas. Y'all be safe this week. Good luck to everybody playing. Rob, always a pleasure, man. And safe travels to yourself. I know you're going out there. You're going to be the sticky
Good luck,
side,
Rob.
boots on the
Thanks, man.
ground out there. And
Yep, flying out tomorrow.
hey, why don't you just go out there and win the damn thing, man? I mean,
I
damn.
might. I'm gonna try.
What kind
be
of
a
draw
week.
you got, Rob? Who you got?
I don't even look at that stuff, man.
Oh,
It's not-
shit.
It's one of them things.
He's
It's
got
not
Matt
real
Guy in the
important
first
to me.
round.
No, I know I don't have Matt Guy, but it's not real important to me to who I have to play until I have to play the next game. To be honest, I try to get through. Go in blind, get that text, look at it, head to the board, and just do my job.
Well, good luck to you, man.
So,
I hope you make it. I hope you
appreciate it.
represent yourself and that Chismark beard and boardmen well. All right, y'all. Thanks
my
again,
best.
everybody.
Appreciate you, boys.
Yep, we'll see you. Hey,
Peace.
throw them straight. We'll see you next time on the sticky side. I'm Mike. That's Rob. Bye.
Cause we all just wanna be cornhole stars and singing cheap hotels and driving beat up cars. The crowd gets crazy and the beers ain't cheap. We get drunk all day so we just don't eat. And we hang out at the local bar, throwing bags in the hole like we